Coach Crew, it's me, Nikki, the host of Nikki's Comfy Couch. I'm a certified life coach, crisis counselor, and I'm telling you how I went from being the lowest paid in a position to being a six-figure earner. Today, we're going to talk about knowing your allies, because it is so important that on your way to success, that you are very careful who you associate yourself with. So I'm going to give you some tips right now in your current position of things that you can do to make sure that you're aware of who you're affiliated with. The first tip is to be very careful of what you say about upper management. Now, I know that a lot of times in the cooler talk, people may express their concerns or be disgruntled about what's going on in the office. And even if the whole office feels like that and the environment is really toxic, I have noticed that there's always some ops that are in those conversations. So you have to be very careful when you feel a certain way about management, even though it's in a negative light, that you don't express it. You have to be very careful, even if you're sitting down and people just strike up that type of conversation, even if it's even a group meeting that you have within your section. Be very mindful. There are people that are in those groups that will go back and tell that information to management, and you don't know who it is. There's not a certain look of person for this, and that's why you have to be so mindful. Keep your comments very neutral. So even if it's people that you really do like working with and you feel really comfortable speaking to them about things like that, you still got to be mindful, especially if it's in a group. Let's say you guys have lunch together and you want to strike up a conversation and they bring that up. You have to be very mindful and be very tactful in how you join that conversation. Because again, it is so important to be careful, because once that word gets back to management about you, they can't erase that from your mind. And that might make you become stagnant and not have promotion opportunities, because they know that you're someone who's not only disgruntled, but you're going to actually share that and spread that throughout the office. So I'm not trying to say don't trust anyone, but what I'm trying to say is there are definitely people within the office that are going to go back to management. So you've got to be extremely careful in how you speak about management. The second thing is, don't believe everything you hear. Like, I know that we have people that we trust in the office, and we know that the gossip goes around and things like that, but you can't always trust what you hear. Like, a lot of times somebody might start something about somebody and it travels through the office and it's not even true, or that it might be a different version of what actually happens. Like, you really have to be careful when you hear things, that you don't just automatically believe it, even if it's coming from a trusted source, because some people are so freaking gullible. That they're going to believe and spread whatever is being said. So again, you want to keep like a neutral stance on things. When you hear things in the office, okay, you take it with a grain of salt, and you got to stay focused on what you're there for. You're there to advance, learn what you got to learn, get to the next level. You're not here to be spreading gossip and being associated with people that do so, which is tip number 3 is do not, under no means, be affiliated with people who are the negative Nancys and Nelsons in the office, okay? If there are those people that are always complaining, that always have an issue with what's going on, and they're known for that, you do not want to be associated with these people. You don't want to have lunch with them. You don't want to be seen by their office. You don't want to be seen as somebody affiliated with them, because you will automatically get grouped with them off rip. Managers, you might think like, oh, they're really busy and they've got things going on, but they pay attention. They know the cliques that are within the office, and they have people that's checking on all of that for them. So you have to be very mindful when people, negative Nancy's, come to you, and they might actually be the op. They might be the one going and reporting that information back to management, pretending like there's somebody who's just disgruntled. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not trying to make you paranoid, but what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to be a neutral party when it comes to all this negativity. When people come to you and they have all these negative comments about management and what's going on, hey, you keep it neutral. And once they see that they're not getting that negativity out of you, they're going to stop coming around as much. Do not, and I repeat, do not be affiliated with any of the negative talk in the office, even though if the place is toxic. You will kill your opportunities for advancing if you do so. Next tip I want to give is for you to form strategic alliances with gatekeepers. Okay? So there are people within the office that have influence over management. And it's not always the person you think. It's not always the top leaders that have influence. It might be their assistants. It might be someone in HR. It might be someone from another department that they play golf with. You have to really pay attention and notice who is it that can really get things done in the office? Who does that person listen to? And form relationships with those people. Now, I want you to still be genuine, but I'm just telling you that it's strategic to do that. You want to make sure that you're on the good side with the people that are the gatekeepers, the people that can actually have influence on your pay, on you advancing, and you just getting where you need to be with your goals. So be very mindful of who that is and look to see in all different places, because you never know who that is within the organization. And lastly, which I think is the most important of all of these, is to pray for discernment. You want God to be able to give you that ability to know when you meet someone what their intentions are, what their spirit is, and if you should connect with them, if you're aligned with them or not. You want God to give you that discernment so that you can make those decisions, take those actions that are going to get you where you need to be. You want that discernment to know, should I still be here? Is it time for me to move on? Discernment is so important in understanding and knowing who your allies really are as you go on your journey. So I know that it's tough sometimes trying to know who is really for you and who really isn't. But if you take these tips into consideration and really be neutral to all the negativity, and you stay positive and stay on track with what you're trying to accomplish, and pray for discernment. Let God show you who you need to be around, who you need to keep around with you, and be mindful of who those gatekeepers are. Thank you as always, and I'll see you next time on Nikki's Comfy Couch. Toodles!